Another old archetype that desperately needs its support in Burst of Destiny. This time it's the Reptilians. So let's begin. So we start off with the main deck monster being Reptilian Lamification, level 2 Dark Reptile with 200 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is, you can use one of these listed down below effects once per turn. During your main phase, if you have a reptile monster in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and change his attack to 0. The Reptilian archetype focuses on draining your opponent's monsters to 0, aka turn them to stone, so this first section essentially doing that for free, and it's a quick effect, pretty nice. But the second section is, if your opponent controls a monster with 0 attack, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. This card is a hard once per turn. So yes, first effect kinda sets up for the second one, although you can't use both effects in the same turn, but nonetheless, it's a very good Reptilian card because it can easily drain your opponent's attack to 0 for being a quick effect, and the only condition is that you just need to have a reptile in your graveyard, which is very likely. Next, Reptilian Culto. Level 4 Dark Reptile Tuner with 14 attack and 1000 defense, and its effect is, if you control a Dark Reptile monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, then special summon one Reptilian monster from your hand up to the face-up number of monsters with 0 attack your opponent controls. And this effect is hard once per turn. So not only that this card can special summon itself from hand, which is already good enough, you can special summon even more Reptilian monsters from your hand for each card you paralyze your opponent. Yeah, this effect already makes it 3 of. It's a level 4 tuner, and it can special summon itself and do additional special summon because of this effect. But not only that, it has a second effect where, if this card you control is used as synchro material for a reptile monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner, which can be helpful sometimes, but you mainly use this for the first effect. And now to the new Synchro, Reptilian Lamification. Level 8 Dark Reptile monster with 25 attack and 28 defense, requires 1 reptile tuner and 1 or more non-tuner, and its effect is, if this card was synchro summoned using only reptile monsters as material, it cannot be destroyed by anything. That is good protection. For its second effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster they control and change it to 0. And this effect is a hard once per turn. Very likely to happen. This is very likely to happen because monster effects is always so relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh! Third effect, if this synchro summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card, you can add 1 reptile monster from your deck to your hand. Honestly, this effect doesn't really matter, though what really matters is the fact that it cannot be destroyed by anything and you can counter your opponent by making one of their monsters to 0. But overall, very nice addition to the Reptilian archetype, especially when they kinda lack synchros as it is. Now to the spells, to our field spell, Reptilian Recoil. Its effect is that you can target one monster you control with 0 attack, and one reptilian monster in your graveyard, destroy the monster on the field, and if you do, special summon the chosen monster from the graveyard. This kind of correlates with the second effect, although you will have some of your own monsters with 0 attack as well, and you can always just run monsters with 0 attack, so you could just pull this effect off. So overall, that's not too bad. But second effect, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster they control with 0 attack, take control of it, and then special summon 1 reptilian token to your opponent's side of the field. Reptile Earth, level 1, 0 attack and defense, and each effect is hard once per turn. Like I said, the first effect kind of correlates with the second effect because 1, you're going to be taking control of one of your opponent's monsters with 0 attack, and then you can replace it, and then summon back one of your big boss monsters. It is a little slow, but you can always run a 0 attack engine in this deck just to use the first effect. So overall, it's not too bad, but also not too necessary, I would say. And finally, to our last card of the day, Reptilian Lamification. It's a normal spell, and you can only activate one of these per turn. And its effect is, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, then choose 2 of these listed effects. Add 1 reptilian monster from your deck to your hand, add 1 reptilian spell or trap from your deck to your hand except itself, and or change the attack of one face-up monster your opponent controls to 0. No reason not to run 3 of. It's one of those rare searchers that can search for 2 cards. Sure, you have to send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, which can be a dead draw sometimes if this is your only card in hand, but it's one of those rare consistency searchers that you can search for 2 cards instead of 1. And even if you don't need the second card, you can always just change one of your opponent's monster attack to 0, which will also help the archetype. So yeah, no reason not to run 3. So that's it for this archetype. What do you guys think about the new Reptilian support? Like I said in my previous support videos, I am just glad to see more under-supported archetypes get some more support. Even if I don't play it, I like the sign of it. But in that, have a nice day.